And now we're going to take a look at the cylinder heads. This is the side here that had the most compression. As you can see, it hasn't been run very much. Ran pretty clean on the intake. This is where the fuel comes in. That one's very clean. This one's a little cruddy. Our valves have a pretty good look to them. There's that spotted condition there on that intake valve. There it should be the exhaust valve. There's just kind of a dirty condition there. This would tell me that it was getting exceedingly hot in there and burning crud and melting it a little bit binding it into the top of the valve. This side looks pretty much normal, carboned up, maybe burning a little bit rich while somebody was working on it or running it, whatever. A little rich on that side, but not too bad. So, valves look good, the heads look good. It's always nice to clean them up and dismantle them, clean them up, put new seals on the stems. So that's what should be done here. This is our carburetor attached to the intake manifold. And that's what all that looks like. On the bottom side, these look very clean. So forth, that's fine and dandy. No leaks, no problems. Seemingly functional. The problem being that these two cylinders here being burned up, the pistons, tells me that there's a fuel problem. Inconsistent amounts of fuel and inconsistent distribution of fuel. If these two cylinders here are burning, that would tell me that there wasn't enough fuel getting into this side, which would cause a heat up condition, extra hot burning in the combustion business there. So that's what did it. Hot spots up there as a result of fuel starvation. And so there's the story. Been as a result of this carburetor. It wouldn't be wise to do all the work to put this thing back and running unless you also included replacing this carburetor. The cost of the carburetor alone would be likely in the area of $400 to $700 to replace it with something that's really neat. They always seem to run better with a higher quality performance carburetor, and that would be the best choice in my estimation for this car, is to rebuild the engine and that. So there you have it. This one does have some. So there's been a leak of some sort that caused that to come out. I'm going to have to say, with all this sitting and so forth, this car will need to have the brakes gone through. Probably every aspect of the system checked out, and there'll surely be some problems with the one of your brake pumps, which is a pretty rusty, nasty looking old creature down here, located right there. Okay, that little puppy is likely your master cylinder. You can see part of it there. That clamp's been there on a long time. Pull out and rebuild it definitely. A relatively major situation here. I'm inside of the car here. Okay, Saab Sonett 3, and we're looking down here at the pedals for the brakes and for the clutch. Now, as you can see, I took the carpet out. It's got water stains. This thing has had a lot of water setting in it. Sitting and getting rained in for a number of years. The rust is, you know, pretty nasty, but it's not punching through. It doesn't have holes, but it's pretty weak floorboard. You know, not the greatest. There's some. That's a little more solid there. But as you can see, that's a typical thing that happens with most all cars over a period of time. But again, it's not punching through. It doesn't have holes. It won't be leaking up from under. This can be cleaned up and treated. It can be cleaned up and treated and worked with. But we've got these brake pedals. They have been in moisture down here long enough that this connection right there, there's a connection, the bar that goes through here, coming from this right side here, a bar up under here that is mounted to the car's frame, and these pedal cast sections go through that and pivot right here and pivot right here up under those castings there. There's a joint there, and a pin to keep that in place. As you can see, that outlines of that pin there. They're solid. They're completely corroded in between these spots here to where they don't move at all. I've put some penetrating oil on this on several occasions, lots of it. They don't even move at all. Little bit of tapping there. They don't even budge. There's no way that pedal's going down in this condition. Taking this aspect apart would be a little bit of a job. This plate's going to have to be removed, which will cause us to be able to get down into those corners more. Check out the rusting situation. Here's an old rusted out screw. Rusted up screw, should you say, but most of it should probably come apart pretty easy. Everything has come apart pretty easy on the car so far, so that'll have to be rectified. There's a number of hours of mechanical work there, and I think any good professional in the business would probably be looking at, you know, $400 likely just to get into that part of it, let alone the other brakes work that needs to be done.